Welcome back to From Fear to Freedom. I realized as I launched this YouTube channel that I haven't really talked about what that means, from fear to freedom. And that has to do with my own experience emerging out of a toxic relationship, being in a place where I was in fear and I was not peaceful and I was not myself. And truth be told, I abandoned myself. I was almost unrecognizable, and I knew it. So this is about a journey from fear to freedom. And I've been talking a lot about the client that I serve in terms of women who are disconnected from themselves and helping them find peace and freedom. Well, women that I want to serve, likely you've been disconnected from yourself because you are either in a toxic relationship or you are considering leaving one or you have left one. So I'd like in this video to shift the narrative a little bit and talk a little bit more about who I was and why I was there and where I am, and encourage you, if you are in that kind of a situation, that I am here to help you. So I am finishing my coursework for my somatic trauma-informed certification process, and I have learned so much in that course in terms of why my body reacted the way it did. This has helped me make so much sense of my own experience. And so the goal that I have is to be able to take that pain from my experience and turn it into purpose to help you if you are in or just left or leaving a toxic relationship. And toxic it's unhealthy for you. And sometimes when we enter into toxic relationships, we don't know that it's toxic until we're out of it. We don't realize how unhealthy it is. We don't realize how we have flexed and molded to be in that relationship and to make it work. It's like trying to put a puzzle piece in a place that it doesn't fit. You try to make it fit, and it just does not fit, and then you just shove it in. And that's your experience. And there's a reason why it doesn't feel good. So I think back to being in that relationship and how I felt on a daily basis. Again, not knowing at the time how far removed from myself I really was. What I do remember feeling is hypervigilant all the time. Just always scanning for threats, thinking that I would be misled, or there was lack of truth, or based on my experience, that's what happened. So why wouldn't it happen again? So I was very hyper vigilant, and I really never knew what version of my partner I would get. There were times when it was really, really good, and then there were times that it really, really wasn't. And that was not always predictable. And a lot of the time, I felt like I had to perform or be someone I really wasn't to make that relationship work. I became so far removed from my value system to appease and to fawn. So when I would become hypervigilant, my body would react in a fight or flight mode. It was easier for my body and for me to just appease and fawn because that would make things better. And so I realize now that my reaction and how I showed up in that relationship has so much to do with why it became so unhealthy. But again, you can't see that when you are in it. You can only see it on the other side. So, I think about being defensive. about fawning, about being inquisitive and needing to know everything. And of course, I was told you need to know too much. You push too hard. And there was a reason for that, because I didn't trust my partner, but moreover, I didn't trust myself. And so if you are listening to this and you're hearing these things and it sounds very familiar to you, there are some things that you need to be aware of about why you're showing up in your relationship this way. And knowing those things will help you. I have learned so very much in my training, and there's still so much to learn. But what I do know is that I know why you're showing up the way you're showing up. And you know what you know now. So if you are thinking about, I don't want to show up this way anymore, or you're thinking about leaving your toxic relationship, or you're thinking, I'm so glad I left, but I don't know what to do with myself now, we need to talk. And if you know someone in that situation, share this with them. My content will be more geared toward learning these things about yourself and what you need to know, and sharing of my experience to help you navigate your own unhealthy relationships so that you can reconnect to yourself, so that you can learn how to trust yourself, and so that you can feel peaceful and free. Thanks so much for your time. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me at julievanmeter.com, and be well. Namaste.